Well, Dave, you've had the privilege of getting to see Tarik Skubal on the mound, whether he pitched at Dodger Stadium and All-Star games in which you were managing the National League, but to see him suit up in Dodger blue to take this mound for your team, what are you looking forward to about seeing him on the mound today?
Intensity, compete, just kind of seeing how our guys sort of respond behind him. This is his first time pitching here at Wrigley Field. The energy here is incredible. Last night was great. Tonight's going to be even better. So I think for me, it's just, and I think, speaking for Tarik, he just wants to get this first one out of the way.
When you think about just whether it was the All-Star game you saw him pitch in or different moments, what do you think has stood out most to you about the pitcher that he is when he takes the mound?
The pitcher, it's God. He just comes after you. Physical. He's just it's just like I don't want to say old school, but it's just a guy that is just physical, and he's just coming after you with electric stuff, high octane stuff. Like even I was talking to him about the catcher and preparing for a game, and he's just more of catcher calls it, puts the fingers down or pushes a button these days, and then I just throw it. And so it's not an overthink, it's conviction on you call it, I'm going to be convicted what I throw, and I'm better than you are.
How much have you been able to watch him just like over the years? I know he pitched against you guys last year, and when you do watch him, what do you look at? What kind of stands out to you?
What stands out is the fastball, the changeup, just the domination. I love the controlled emotion. I've seen him pitch in playoff games. I've seen him pitch against us. When he's pitching, you tune in, and I tune in. But he just does everything right. And I've vetted him a lot with coaches and players, and in between the lines, he's a dog. Outside the lines, he's humble, respectful, does and says the right things, and it's like that's what you want. And so just fortunate that he's pitching for us.
Will you kind of watch him carefully tonight with adrenaline pumping, not that far off coming back from the injury and things like that? And I will certainly watch all of our guys, but I'll certainly keep an eye on him,
Is there anything you guys looked into or that you had heard about, like coming off the injury, that's been different with him at all? Or is he kind of, as far as you guys could tell, like been the same pitcher, or about the same pitcher that he was before?
Yeah, I talked to AJ briefly once we acquired him, and just kind of talking about how he's used them, and but I haven't seen or heard anything different from post surgery.
Let's talk about how pitching for the Dodgers, playing for the Dodgers, there's nothing like it. Just as you were looking into him, personality-wise, whatever, what makes you confident that he'll thrive in that kind of environment?
I think the character, the makeup, certainly the talent, and everyone can't play here for the Dodgers. It's not always, and that's not a knock against anyone. It's a certain high expectations, but I think the heartbeat. He's a 6-year player, veteran. He's won a lot, had a lot of success, and we just feel that it was just obviously a no-brainer, but a seamless fit for the clubhouse and on the field. Yeah.
What was it like to see him and Hunter back in there today?
Yeah, 24, 2 different catchers. So I just think it's great for us as far as kind of the experience part. You look at our pitching staff, and we had to raise the floor on the catching, and just more cost certainty, and certainly with the expectation to get Will Smith back at some point too, though. But it's good. Fetty's great. Roark's great. Haven't seen either of them yet, but so happy to have them both back.
The last time Ben showed up, he almost caught a no-hitter last year.
Is that right? Wouldn't that be something?
Was it
for Ben last year, just to come in midstream and learn everything? And how much can that experience maybe help him sort of basically having to do that again here this year?
Well, I think it certainly helps him. I think that knowing the coaches, Mark and Danny, knowing a lot of his teammates, I think that knowing how we think the system on the game planning, I think that makes it seamless. And I just like the way that he's a veteran player. He's been around a long time. He's 29 years old. He's got enough experience that he's going to handle this moment. So, yeah, we feel good about it. And then Fetty will be in there tomorrow.
What made Ben so popular last year when he was here with what he did and how he kind of performed on and off the field?
He is he doesn't take himself too seriously, knows who he is as a player, and as a catcher he was a servant, understanding that his number one priority was to serve the pitchers. So I think that right there diffuses the clubhouse. And so, yeah, when you can also laugh at yourself, that certainly helps.
Yesterday you said you'd maybe have an update on Ohtani, and can you add Snell and Glasnow in there as well?
So Glass threw today 2 innings, 3rd inning in the pen. So he'll pitch next Sunday. I think it's on Sunday. And then Snell's pitching tonight, 5 innings. And then we'll see where he's slotted next week. And then I don't know a date when he's going to pick up a baseball and throw it 60 feet to another receiving partner. So I don't know when that is yet, but it's going to happen soon.
Now, you guys have had as many of these highly anticipated debuts as anybody. For you, how do you make them unique, even though you guys have had so many over the last couple of years?
Great question. I think that it's I think I try not to intentionally not get jaded on moments like this, because I think that the fans, the media, the players get excited about it, and so I try to not play along, but I try to acknowledge that it's just not another game. Yeah, it's one of 162, but I do think that Tarek Skubal making a start for the Dodgers is a big deal for baseball and for Dodger fans. So I'm not trying to minimize it, and I think that's kind of acknowledging and not trying to minimize something that is the obvious is how I try to do it.
48, 72 hours since you got him. Have you learned anything that you didn't know about him before he was a Dodger?
No, not yet. Not yet. So I've kind of kept my distance and, let the players. I want the players to kind of really start to get familiar with him, the coaches, and I'm just biding my time and building equity slowly.
Do you think that seeing him pitch tonight when you as a team kind of need a stopper can maybe tell you something about that?
In one game, no. I think we already know what we have in him, but it would certainly be helpful to be the stopper for tonight to get us a W, yeah.
Dave, having been in this position a year ago where you didn't have Will and Dalton, Ben did what he did. Again, it's a new season, but what kind of confidence does that give you that he can do this with this team again?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think we get out of that Phillies series without Ben Wardfed. I really don't. And so he came up big for us. And so, yeah, it just says a lot about him, and I'm just happy we've got to acquire him and we trust him. And so, again, he hasn't been here. He spent a lot of his time in AAA, and for me to trust him coming out and starting a big league game with Skubal on the mound says a lot about what I think of him.